Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
We're back.
Yeah, we are back and in action for yet another episode. Today's episode is going to be on the movie Five Nights at Freddy's, or the acronym that I like, FNAF.
Yes. I was dragged to this movie against my will, honestly.
Why are you lying to the audience? This is literally what you were dreaming of.
I was dragged to this movie against my will.
How unlikely?
It's very likely.
I don't believe you. This movie was fire.
It was good. I was still dragged there against my will.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I still don't believe you.
Well,
Why would you be dragged there against your will?
because my fiance is a huge fan of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Okay.
He came down, he was like, "We're watching the movie," and I was like, ugh.
All right. Well, let's jump right on into this. For all of you that don't know, Five Nights at Freddy's is based on a video game. And if you don't know, now you know.
And it was kind of like the first of its kind, if you think about it. It was the first game that was exclusively jump scares. There wasn't anything to it. It was like, hey, you're just gonna look around and get scared. Then, of course, Markiplier kind of put it on the map along with a few other YouTubers and streamers who a few of them show up in the movie.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Good to know. I don't really follow too many streamers, so I wouldn't have known.
Oh, I love YouTube, yeah.
So the opening is kind of nice because it is a nod to the video game. At least I'm assuming. I also haven't played the video games, guys. I actually can't wait to sit down and play them now.
Fun fact, the guard in the opening was supposed to be Markiplier.
Why wasn't it?
He is currently filming a movie called Iron Lung,
Okay.
and that's why it wasn't.
Wow. Well, good to know. So maybe he'll make it into the next one then.
Yeah.
So, knowing that I don't know too much about the video game, I will probably let Charles take lead on anything that was hinted at as game related. I'm going to assume the opening sequence with, I forget his name, but the security guard,
Yeah.
has nothing to do with the video game at all. They're just trying to give you a nice backstory on a guy who needs a job.
Well, so when you play the game as you're the second security guard. The first one disappears. The person, like this first security guard, is the first security guard that disappears in the game, which is why
Okay.
there was a job opening for it.
Now, again, I forget his name. Do you know his name? The main guy for this?
Josh Hutcherson? Mike.
Is that the actor's name?
Yeah, it's
Mike.
the actor's name. His name is Mike.
Okay. So Mike also has a book called Dream Theory. Is that also part of the video game?
There is. It has to do with the third or fourth game. Yeah, and one of the theories is that the entire thing is happening in the mind of a child that was hurt at Five Nights at Freddy's.
Okay.
So it's a dream theory. The theory is called the dream theory. So just a little nod.
Okay. So it opens up with him getting fired for jumping some guy who he thought was stealing some kid.
Yeah.
And that's how he loses his job, because that's not what was happening. He has some trauma in his life, obviously. And so he goes to meet Steve Raglan, which I guess he's an owner of a
temp agency. He's a career counselor.
Oh, okay, career counselor, which I'm guessing is also a temp agency in its own way, shape, and form. So he is the one that discusses with him about the security job, which he's taking care of his daughter, so he can't do nights because he has to take care of, well, not his daughter,
his sister.
But you don't realize that until a little bit into it. But I got confused about it for a second there too. Anyways, it's his sister. So Steve talks about that particular job and how that could help him. He declines, and so we get some backstory on him and the daughter, the sister.
Yeah.
And we find out that he has dream walkthroughs is probably the best way to put it.
So yeah, what's happening is and he goes into it later on in the movie. He uses the picture and the sounds, and he's had the same dream every night he's trying to figure out what he missed. That's his whole thing. He's trying to figure out, yeah, what he missed, and he keeps having the same dream over and over again.
And so what you end up finding out in this first dream is that his little brother was kidnapped.
Yeah.
You also find out afterwards that his aunt is trying to get custody of his sister because he does not have a reliable source of income.
Well, it's mostly because she wants the money. Gotta call it what it is.
She's a money grubbing hoe.
Yes.
And the lawyer or attorney or whatever he is just doing whatever she wants.
Yeah. So very much not like a lawyer.
So basically, she doesn't want to live with her aunt, and so she's staying with him. Even the teachers say that she's good for him, and vice versa, he's good for her. So he decidedly ends up calling Steve. And mind you, the actor who plays Steve, I'm very happy he got this role. Haven't seen him in a while. From my knowledge, he's been greenlit for more roles in this series. So he calls Steve and asks if the job is still available, and it is, and starts our adventure at Five Nights at Freddy's, the pizza parlor.
Freddy Fazbear's.
No, you're Freddy Fazbear.
Okay. Can I just say Matthew Lillard is so hot?
And so in this first little outing, yeah, you can say he's hot. Why not? He watches the Freddy security training. I'm going to assume that is also part of like an Easter egg of the video game.
Yes. In the game, it is the voice of the previous security guard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because that's not frightening.
And I think it's like in the game, it's a recording. It's a recording on tape.
The security training is not that lengthy, but does tell him everything he kind of really needs to know. Pay attention, be good, and you'll get the job done.
Yeah.
He kind of explores. Not too much really happens on the first night. I'm guessing that's probably the same in the game too. I'm assuming probably not much happens on the first night. While he is on his first night, he goes back into the second dream sequence, and he becomes Green Shirt Guy.
Green Shirt Guy?
He's Green Shirt Guy. Yeah, he's got a green shirt on. He's Green Shirt Guy. He's a Green Shirt boy.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either, but I'm pretty sure he's the special kid.
No, we've already met the special.
Anyways,
kid.
He's Green Shirt Guy. No, you're
he's Mike Schmid.
So in this run, there are 5 kids in there, and they are being weird.
Yeah.
And they all run away from him. And then he wakes up. I'm guessing, does that have anything to do with the game at all?
Well, yeah. But like they answer that later on in the movie, who the 5 kids are. It's the same as in the game.
Of course. Okay. So there's these things that happen in the game as well. Okay. So then it transitions to him going home and having a conversation with his babysitter, which you find out is hired by the aunt to make him look bad so that she can get custody of his sister.
Yeah, she's hired so that she can find some kind of dirt on him so that the aunt can take him to court and get custody of the sister.
Then you find out that they want more money, and the husband or boyfriend is like, sure, we'll do what you say, but you're gonna need to pay us more money, and we'll go terrorize the...
I think that's her brother. Yeah.
Oh, brother? Okay, that's fine too. So then we're on to round 2 of security, and we're back into Dream World.
Night 2.
Yeah, night 2. This time, he gets booted out again.
Well, this is night 2. Well, this time he gets scratched.
Oh, that's right. And he comes back with blood, right?
Yeah, when he wakes up.
Yeah.
His arm has been cut.
Which is when he meets the police lady. And she's like, hi, let me in. Let me in, little pig. Let me in.
Right.
And so they have a full-blown discussion talking about, oh, you won't be here long, I'm sure. It's okay, but I'm here if you need me. And then she introduces the Fazbear Gang to him.
But they're only animatronics at that time.
Correct. So then he leaves, which then allows the group to come in, even though I'm sure he locked up everything nice and tight.
He missed the door. That's how they got in.
Right, that's right.
So, well, before the gang that's hired gets there are a few things that happen, like, before he runs into the police officer that a few callbacks to the game. One of them is the message that shows up on the mirror that says, "It's me." And there's also, during the lights flashing and the electricity going crazy, you see Foxy standing in the door, which also happens in the game.
Okay.
And now we're to the thieves. I guess thieves, vandals, because they're trying to vandalize, not steal anything. So we're to the vandals.
True. And then all the killing starts.
Yeah.
I particularly like the cupcake. I like how the cupcake is its own animatronic.
Yes. So, fun fact about the cupcake. The person that the cupcake kills, his name is Carlos, I believe. And in the fandom, the cupcake doesn't have a name, so people named it Carlos.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
I really love karma that happens like this.
I also like how their eyes glow up in the dark. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Very spooky. And then they're like, "We're coming in to the security room with the cupcake." That whole scene was freaking fantastically done.
Oh, and they turn to look at him while he's in the turn to look at the vandalizer while he's in the room, and they all turn at the camera.
And so everybody gets killed, and then I think you said it's his sister.
Yeah.
Sister goes in and is like, "Oh, I guess I should go find them." And then
she hears and sees a child running and decides to follow it.
Because that's always a good move. And then she gets eaten.
She literally gets
I think it's
bitten in half, which is a callback to the game. There are two important things that happen in the game.
Oh, really?
There's the bite of 83 and the bite of 87. The bite of 83 killed someone, and the bite of 87 left someone with severe head injury.
Wow. And this one is a full bite down her back, so she's just bitten.
Which I wasn't expecting to see.
Yeah, right? That's pretty cool, though. And then after everybody dies, we transition back to Mike and his sister. Obviously, the police officer comes, and they discuss that she might have to find him since she didn't lock up.
She'll have to report what happened, and then he'd have to be charged with negligence.
Correct. But they have a full-blown discussion. She opens up to him, he opens up to her, and she says that I'll let you slide this time.
No more taking pills on the job.
No more pill taking on the job, which then leads into what I was discussing just a moment ago, which is obviously the babysitter didn't come because she's dead.
Yeah.
So he has to take her to work with him. And I thought this is where the whole thing was going to go in a completely different direction than it did. Like full-blown horror, I thought. And instead it was more of like fun horror.
Yeah.
So I was okay with this. Very different, but still thought it was really good. He goes back into Dream World, and she goes to sleep in the security office. And that's where she finds Fazbear, and while he's back in the dream world, he starts having discussions with the kids.
Yes.
And when he wakes up, he sees that his sister's missing and is hanging out with the animatronics.
Which was kind of shocking because I also thought, okay, this is where the horror starts. And it was not where the horror started.
Yeah. It definitely confused me because I thought it was going to get bad. But it sounds like they just liked hanging out with her, and so they leave.
They leave, and he finds out that the imaginary friends that Abby had turned out to be ghosts. And he realizes that Abby can talk to them. So Abby can ask them about his missing brother because he realizes that Abby drew the scene from his dream, which is, she draws the car with his little brother in the back.
That's right. And so he brings her back to Fazbear's again to see if they can't figure out a way to help their brother.
But this time,
police officer's there.
Yeah, the police officer is there.
And she knows they're real.
Oh, she knows a lot more than that.
Oh yeah, a lot more than that.
So,
and they have like a full-on 5-minute or maybe 3-minute like hanging out and playing, and I'm like, this is cool, I guess.
But then they go to get blankets for the fort, and she shows him just how dangerous the animatronics themselves are, because he almost touches one and it would have clapped his entire arm off.
Mm-hmm. And so she's scared that he's going to keep bringing her, so she tells him not to bring her here anymore.
Well, that's because she gets hurt. His little sister gets hurt.
They didn't. I think in my own version, I feel like they didn't mean to hurt her.
No,
In that
she
way?
literally gets hurt because she touches the guitar, and it's not a real guitar, obviously. It's
It's electronic.
yeah, it has electricity going through it. So when she touches it, boom, she gets blown back, and that's when the police officer, is her name Veronica?
Maybe?
I think her name's Veronica.
And so after she gets hurt, they take care of her. They head out. And that is night 3.
That is night 3. Okay, so even though she has explicitly told him, hey, don't bring your sister back or else. He's like, well, I have to find out. So he brings his sister back, even though she told him not to. And with good reason. No, she knows about the killings. He doesn't.
Right.
Yeah.
So they get back, and she's scared that he's not doing a good job, so he calls his aunt.
Well, it's also that he can't bring her back there, you know? He now sees
Right.
how dangerous it is for her, so he has to have someone to watch her.
Right. Which then we jump right back into night 4, and he's there, and the kids made his quote-unquote wish come true, which is his brother's alive and wasn't kidnapped, but only in the dream world.
Right.
And so to them, they held up their end of the deal, and so now they want his sister.
They're like, okay.
And he's like, this is not what I asked for. This is not what I wanted.
He says yes. And then he realizes, wait a minute, he's dead. There's no going back. But it's too late. He's already promised his sister to them.
So now they're like, go get her. Well, not really. They're going to go kill him since he decided against that. But then he's like, all right, I'll go get her.
No. So no, while he's knocked out and they kind of have him trapped, they send Golden Freddy to go get her.
Right.
Now, Golden Freddy in the games doesn't have an animatronic. He is fully a spirit. That's who they send to go get her.
I totally forgot about that. I love how they sneak out in front of the... No, they didn't sneak out, did they?
I think she's dead.
Yeah, they killed her.
I mean, obviously, he tells her
I think she's dead, too.
Oh, she's just sleeping. But, like, she's definitely dead.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Now, what about the driver, though? How funny is that shit?
Oh, okay. So, the driver is also a YouTuber that got famous because of Five Nights at Freddy's.
That's cool. He's like, all right, guys, we going back to the Fazbear's because that seems legit.
Yeah, that's why he was like, when Freddy gets in and it scares him, he's like, not cool.
Was that his signature line in his streams?
I'm sure. His name's Corey X Kenshin.
Gotcha.
By the way, when we were at the diner and they were talking, like earlier on, the waiter that takes their orders is also a famous YouTuber called MatPat. He does game theory and film theory.
Okay.
And his catchphrase, which he says in the movie, is, it's just a theory.
So then we jump back to Fazbear's with Mike and Victoria?
That's Veronica.
I forget. Veronica. And she's like, listen, you punk, I told you not to come back here.
Well, so like, yeah. He gets there and they chase him and they almost kill him. And then Veronica saves him and bandages him up. And that's when she admits that she knows everything. Oh, Vanessa, not Veronica, Vanessa. Yeah, so she admits after Golden Freddy brings them there, and after they almost kill him, Vanessa saves him. He finds all the bodies as he's running away because the previous security guards and the previous people that were killed, they loosened the chair enough so that he can escape.
Nice.
Vanessa packed and then she reveals, I know everything, including the fact that your little brother was taken. And
Kind of fudged up.
she tells him how to stop the animatronics. You have to use a taser. It short circuits their wiring, but only for a little while.
And then we jump back to Golden Freddy and his sister.
Yeah.
He gets her back, and the animatronics are like, "Yay, we got her back." And then he asks her to help him take him down.
And she says she can't.
And she refuses. So she gets him as fully prepped as physically possible and sends him on his way. The daughter's there. Not the daughter, the sister is there.
Abby.
And Mike's snuck in through a security grate, something like that.
Yeah, it's I mean, you could call it that. Vents in real life,
I think this whole scene's really cool.
Are not that spaced out. They're not that big. And if you were to crawl through a vent in real life, you would cut yourself up very badly and you would fall through before you even get halfway past. They are not equipped to handle bodies.
Now, he gets through. They're taking her to the back room and he gets her down. Now, I'm not sure if it's here or in the next couple of minutes, but they were about to put her into a purple Freddy, right?
They were about to put her in a marionette.
Is that what it's called?
Her name is yes.
Okay. I thought it was a purple Freddy, but okay.
So the marionette is from one of the... I don't think that one specifically is, but in one of the games there is a marionette.
Okay. Is there no purple Freddy? I thought I've seen purple Freddys.
So what you're talking about is the purple guy. He is the one that, in the lore of the game, kidnaps the children and then stuffs them into the animatronics.
Yeah. So that would be Steven then,
yeah.
Correct? Okay. Which we're about to learn about in a second. Sorry, guys. So anyways, he's like on his way of rescuing his sister, and he's just knocking them out one by one, like, haha, I got you too, 1,000 points, 2,000 points.
And here comes the cupcake. The real trooper of them, honestly.
Yeah.
That cupcake has...
And then after all that, Golden Freddy pops out. And I just want you to know, Golden Freddy looked freaking dope. Oh, no, that's not Golden Freddy, is it? He's in a bunny costume?
Yeah. So, okay. So this is when it gets more back into the game. Because in the game, the purple guy is wearing a bunny outfit.
Okay. So then he goes to taser him.
And he keeps
moving. And it does not work. And she takes him down, and then Victoria is like, no, you leave him alone. He's my husband. I mean, my friend.
Right. She shoots him. And then he stabs his daughter.
Yeah. And then the last little bit is her, like, fighting for her life over here. And you find out that it's Steven. And that Steven is her dad, who does not give a shit about nobody.
And we find out, dun dun, this is William Afton, who in the games is the killer.
And then they convince the animatronics to go after him, because he's the one that killed them all.
And they didn't realize he was the one that killed them. And then she shows them with her drawing.
And, so they let him leave because they're too busy mutilating him. And she's happy.
The animatronics turn on him because he's hiding in one of the suits. And then the suit closes in on him, slowly
like it did.
Killing him.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
By the way, at this point, Vanessa has been stabbed. The place is coming down. And they're all out and they got free. They lived.
Yeah, they did.
And we jump I want to say, maybe a month or two?
Maybe, but considering what happens right after this, I don't think it's been more than a day.
I don't think that she'll be playing with other kids in a day.
Oh, for sure. She's just a kid. She don't understand time.
No, I'm pretty sure it's like a month.
And then she says she wants to see him again, and he's like, nope, not happening, but, friends are friends for life, and you'll be okay without them.
He says specifically, you never know what happens. He doesn't give her a no, because,
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's where I don't know if this is spoiler for you or not. So...
Okay, go ahead.
So, at the very end, we see William Afton still shaking, right?
Yeah, in the bunny costume, yeah.
So, lore-wise, in the game, William Afton, through sheer force of hatred, stays alive like that for a year.
Wow. How would he stay alive without food and water?
Hatred, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy.
It's a game where ghost children possessed animatronics.
Okay,
So
and then if I'm not mistaken, there's an after credits scene.
there is, which is just
I forget what it is.
it's just the jump scare.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's also I think it's way before the credits. It's like it shows William Afton still shaking in the
Right,
bunny
right.
outfit while Golden Freddy watches him.
And there you guys have it. That's FNAF episode 1, because like we know we're getting like 100 more of these bad boys.
Well, there's like what? So actually, you might not be wrong because there's Five Nights at Freddy 1, 2, 3, and 4. But then you have Sister Location. Then you have Security Branch. Then you have the new games set in like. So I think the past games are set in the early 2000s. The very, very new game with Glam Rock Freddy is set in the 2020s.
Okay.
So potentially, there's enough potential here to make movies, a series if they wanted, short stories, mini movies, limited series. There's a lot here.
Okay.
But we do know that Matthew Lillard has been signed on for a few more movies, and that we also know that if you play the game, that William Afton is not dead. And
Right.
for Security Breach, there is is a character in Security Breach. Is it Security Breach? I want to say that's the newest game. So Vanessa's in that game, but I don't know if she's playing William Afton's daughter or not in that game. But she is possessed by him, or she's just a raving maniac that puts on a pink bunny outfit and does twirls. It's a lot scarier than I'm making it sound, I promise.
Okay, so as we do, we are at the end, so we will be giving our ratings.
Holy shit.
Which will be based on
I don't remember how to do this.
Plot, characters, special, and rewatchability. I think there's usually a fifth one, but I cannot remember at this time. So we're just going to go on 4.
I think that's it.
So plot, characters, special, and rewatchability. And it is out of 5, and then we combine our totals together to give you a overall rating for the show. Or in this case, the movie. So I'll start with plot for me, which is a 5. I'm giving it straight up 5. It's been a long time since I've seen a movie through and through where I've liked it from beginning and end. They covered it up. They secured you with this is what's happening. This is how we get to point B, and they covered up the dirt and said, all right, plot hole filled. And then they even gave you a glimpse at a potential future. So I'm giving it a 5.
As someone who was dragged to see it, I'll give it a 4.5.
4.5. Okay.
Because I didn't play it a lot, because I'm not into a jump scare game. My overactive imagination fucks me up on those. It was such a good, it was enough that they kept the story the same, and yet they added enough elements to make it different. The only reason it's a 4.5 for me is because I know what's going to happen, from 1 to 4.
So maybe this says something about my 5, considering that I've never played any of the games. So somebody who's never played the games, you'll probably really enjoy this.
And somebody who did play the games, you'll enjoy it too. Because even though I've seen it, I'm still giving it a 4.5.
So next up is characters. And for me, I thought all the characters did a really good job. Mike was very fleshed out. Daughter or sister was very fleshed out.
Abby.
The Veronica and Steven.
Vanessa.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
my
not
God.
even going to get her name right by the end of the show. Dang. They had their, just overall great. Now, if we had any additional development, it would be on the kids themselves, but maybe that's the point of the game, so that might be overstepping, but we didn't really get too much info on them.
I get what you're saying.
So I'm going to give it a 4.
Okay, so I get what you're saying on that, right?
Yeah.
I think where the movie wise is that Golden Freddy speaks for all of the kids.
Okay.
I also think they did a good job with Mike's character, especially in the beginning when he saw what he thought was an abduction happen, and then he stepped into action. You kind of got a glimpse into why he's like that,
Yeah, okay.
And they did a good job of showing why. Abby was a kid in the movie.
Yeah.
Vanessa also did a pretty good job as well. And even the characters that weren't there for long, like the brother and sister and their gang of hooligans. So I'm gonna give it a 4 as well. I'm gonna give it a 4 as well.
Okay. Next up is special, and I think the only real thing we can say for special is the animatronics.
The practical effects, you should know that those animatronics were not CG.
Oh, I figured as much. Way too real to be CG.
Yeah, they built those animatronics. One of them, one of the first ones that they built had caught on fire.
No way.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm giving it a 5, by the way, for special.
Oh, same. I love practical. I am a slut for practical effect in shows. Like they had did what was it WandaVision had did practical effects for the first 2 episodes. They had practical effects and I loved it.
Nice. Honestly, dude.
And all the sets on One Piece were built.
Oh, nice.
So for me, the animatronics are definitely a 5.
Okay. Yeah, definitely a 5 for me as well. Just every iteration, each one was so very well done.
Even the cupcake.
I don't know how accurately described they are to the game's characters, but I'm going to assume they are pretty freaking good.
Oh, it's like they pulled them out of the game directly.
That's fantastic. That's good to hear. So I feel like my 5 is very genuine then when it comes to that. And then lastly is our rewatchability. And as a lot of you know, most things, once I watch them, I'm done. I don't want to watch them again. But this one is definitely going to get a 4 for me, because if someone never seen it and they had suggested to watch it, I would definitely be interested in watching it again. The only reason why it doesn't get a 5 is because it's the type of person I am. I'm not going to go out of my way to sit down and rewatch it again. But it's definitely a suggestion I would tell somebody to watch. And if the right day, night happened and they were like, let's make it happen, then I would definitely be interested in rewatching.
Okay, so again, I was dragged to this, right? Because I'm not that big a Five Nights at Freddy's fan. I'm a fan, I'm like through secondhand fandom. I've watched gameplay of it and I know the lore, but it's like
minimal.
That being said, for rewatchability for me, I'd give it a 3, maybe a 3.5. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it.
Well, a 3 or a 3.5, mister.
3.5. I'm not going out of my way to watch it again, only if I had to. And if someone was like, hey, I've never watched this, I probably wouldn't sit down and watch it with them. It's something I would put on in the background to, like, just have on.
Okay.
Even with that being said, yeah, 3.5 for me.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get these calculations started. So give me just a moment and I will be right back.
Okay. This is a great time to talk about our sponsor.
Go for it.
Hey, if you would like to sponsor us, your sponsorship would go right here. We're also sponsored by Echo Star Studios.
Technically, also Joe's Retro Games.
We are. We're also sponsored by Joe's Retro Games. I don't know, that Joe guy seems like a loser, but I hear he has some good stuff.
And for those of you listening, you can listen to us not only on Spotify, but on our YouTube channel at Echo Star Studios. That is our YouTube platform that is shared between other people, which includes myself for Joe's Retro Games content, Manny Zaldivar for any productions he produces through Raven Guard Productions. And you can also see game streams by Sliding Guy. I might be saying his name wrong, and I apologize if I did. We'll get it fixed in the next one. But that will be our one-stop shop for a bunch of content. So if you have a YouTube channel, please subscribe. We'll make sure to get that link in here for you as well for anybody viewing off of the YouTube platform. And it's the best way to stay in touch with everything we're doing. So I hope to see you there. Now, with our overall totals, mine came out to a 4.5 and Charles came out to a 4.25, which is going to give us a really odd number for once, which is going to be a 4.375. So not bad. That's not bad at all. You should definitely watch this. This is a 4.375.
We're not doing that. You're rounding it up. It's a 4.4.
Oh, rounding up? Okay, we can start doing that now. All right, everybody, we're rounding up. We're doing roundups now. I was not aware this was a thing that we were going to do.
4.375 is not a score.
You're right.
This is not
so
the
we're
Olympics.
we will round up to the nearest 0.5.
Yes.
So it's a 4.5 after being rounded up, mister. So this is a definitely go see show movie, and with that in mind, if you haven't seen it, go see it.
Yeah. Yeah, go see it.
Yeah.
You'll like it if you're a fan. You'll really like it if you're a huge fan. And if you've never seen anything or heard anything about it, you'll also like it.
So all around, good job, guys. Good job to the production company. Good job. Keep them coming. Let's make FNAF huge in the film industry. This was great.
Josh Hutchinson can follow me on my personal Instagram if he's ever feeling curious.
Yeah, and with that being said, that is the end of the episode, and I hope you had a blast listening to this one. Feel free to follow. Actually, please follow. Don't feel free.
Please.
Do it. Push the button. Like, we need you here so that we can continue to inspire you.
You're
It's right
gonna
there.
push
Just push it.
subscribe, and you're also gonna hit that bell notification so that you get all of our updates when we upload.
And you can email and message us directly for content that you would want us to watch and review. So another thing that Echo Star Studios is doing is if you are a film creator or you want your script in an audio file, let us know. We can work something out for you. Or maybe you already have content out there that you want reviewed. Let us know. We can make a review for you in an audio format that is going to be on our channels. And then you can direct people to that. So there are plenty of ways that we can also help you as content creators yourself. And if you like how we do things with our ratings, this is a great way to get actual ratings. It'll either help you out to learn what you need to improve on or know what you're doing right so you can continue to be good at what you're doing.
Hell yeah.
And so with that in mind, I'm Joe.
I'm Charles.
And you have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.